Hello and welcome to the next video of my World's 2022 preview series where we're going to cover game length and just look at how long it took teams to win games versus how long it took them to lose games. I know it looks like a chaotic mess. Well, not all that chaotic. It looks just scuffed like the rest of this channel. But description: Twitter, Discord, YouTube memberships, Twitter, follow me there. Discord, join us. We BS about league most of the time. Today there's not a lot going on with league, so we're talking about broader topics that weren't even league related, but that's fine. We're not, Thursday league starts again. And YouTube memberships, $3 supports me, keeps the channel alive. $10 you get extra content. For instance, tomorrow I'm going to upload a video where I predict who's going to win games of World's Play-ins Day 1. I do that after I do my roundup. I just keep the board up on the easel here, and I just write down my predictions and then do another quick video, which $10 tier gets that, in addition to fantasy football and American football content. So if that interests you, $10 tier. Now, what is this? Well, earlier I shouted out ProTex because in the Discord we do watch parties, and they've been doing some of the watch parties. I believe Nick has done them and Jay Beast as well. And they said they would do watch parties when they're awake. So if you do want to join the Discord, for those who can, mods are the ones that put them on, and I appreciate it. But ProTex suggested this underneath one of my videos during the previews, and I figured, why not? I did the math and figured it out, how long on average a team takes to win a game versus how long it took them to lose a game, right? And I think there's a couple takeaways from here, but that's that. So that, sometimes I do take the ideas from the comment section for content. I know during the off season I'm certainly going to be doing that. I have a big project I'd like to start, which should get me like maybe 50 videos, which would be really fun. But I think that it'll be a lot of work, and in the end, nobody might like it. But beside the point, so ProTech suggested this, and then we have Dan B in the Discord, who is another mod, and speaking of non-league related stuff, they were talking about they're helping somebody with their math homework last night or this morning in the non-league channel, and they had drawn a graph very crudely, and they even said it was pretty crudely drawn. So it inspired me to really do a little graph here that it looks pretty scuffed. I didn't have a ruler. I wish I did. If I had a ruler, I would have at least measured out a bit. So what does this mean? Well, there's a couple things to take away from here. One, you probably can't read most of it because it's so small. But when I was doing it, I was afraid, you'd end up with things like right here and right here where they're all on top of each other and there's not enough space, right? So a couple takeaways. First, where's Gen G? Gen G are here. Tendency: they finish games quick, games end quick for them. We get to probably the late game, but you're going to imagine probably at the third, fourth Drake. All of a sudden we're looking at fourth Drake, somebody gets a Baron, and games end in around 31 minutes. And then you look at the two other teams that are definitely top tier. Top in JDG, they are way over here. You can't even see JDG on here. JDG's games on average, it was between 42 and 43 minutes. The next is like 38 minutes. So on average, JDG's games, when they lost during playoffs, by the way, this is all playoffs. This is not regular split. 4 minutes longer, right? And against Top, if you look, Top, on average, their wins took a while. JDG is in the upper half here too, around 35 minutes or so. And it shows that when these two teams faced each other, it was a dogfight to the end. We're talking about Elders, we're talking about Souls, we're talking about multiple Barons and things like that, where one fight ends the game at 35 minutes. I know there was a 50-minute game they had in there, so that's another thing. But the thought is the LPL is smash mouth, gets the games done quick, and that's not the case with these great teams, especially against each other. The LPL playoffs were tough. These teams played each other a total of 10 times, right? And arguably either one could have won the LPL and nobody would have been shocked. And then you see the other two. You see EDG here. EDG tends to finish their games in around 32 minutes, but games usually end around 35. RNG are up here. we're looking at their losses being the opposite because they played EDG so much, right? The majority of their games in playoffs were against EDG, actually. So that's why you see them being offset. So the LPL playoffs, these top tier teams versus these two teams, like, they play a little slower, they play a little more careful, not getting caught out with mistakes as often in the case of top and JDG versus EDG and RNG. A couple other things to note: Vietnam, right? I always talk about Vietnam and how they definitely play an aggressive brand of league, and it's shown in this graph. Sorry, excuse me. Saigon Buffalo and GAM Esports. I mean, as this graph goes up this way, the games get longer, right? We have the shortest loss time and one of the shortest win times. One of the shortest win times, GAM Esports wins games in like 29 minutes. Saigon Buffalo, 30 or so, but they lose in around 29 minutes. The majority of their losses came against GAM Esports, right? They played, They played 8 games against each other throughout playoffs. Saigon Buffalo getting the first series, GAM Esports getting the finals. And, that says, they're going to finish the game. If it gets to a Seoul, be shocked, right? Other Korean teams, you've got T1 here, finishing the game around the same time. Usually they win around 31 minutes. When you get up to, Damwon Kia, longer, they play very slow. We've seen it before. They play very, very passively. That is not a shock to me at all, honestly. I'm not surprised that they have the second longest win time out of anybody. Which you have to also think about, right? So when you look at these teams, you say, who are closing out games with their advantages, and who is it taking a long time to take their, use their advantages and finish the game, right? So when Gen G get an advantage, they're finishing that game in under 31 minutes. Same thing with T1. Look at C9 over here, very similar, around 31 minutes or so. And when you get towards the top, these teams like Top, Damwon, EG, RNG, Rogue, 35 minutes or more to finish games out when they are, in a position to win or the game's close for a while. With Top, it's an exception. I mean, like I said, Top played JDG a lot, and those are going to be tough games. But in the case of RNG, EDG, when they were ahead, they finished the game, where RNG needed that next Drake, right? We're looking at a gap here of 32 to roughly 35, 36 minutes. That is almost a whole Drake, right? That's almost 5-6 minutes. Things like that. It's just really interesting to think about. I had fun doing it. A couple other teams to note. I mean, we've got Mad Lions here by themselves, DRX. It is funny, though, how Beyond Gaming, like a random, PCS team, but random relatively, are so close to Rogue in average time. EG and RNG, Damwon. I mean, all 5 of those teams are, I could put my hand over the top of all 5 of them, right? That's how closely their game times were. Even throughout, we're looking at 5 different regions. That's nobody from the same region right there. So it's something. And then, like I said, though, you've got the 2 very elite Korean teams towards the bottom that kind of did their deal. Even though they played against each other, those games are relatively short. So, Fnatic here. I mean, a couple shout-outs. We got Chief Esports, Loud, Isurus, Flying Oyster, a.k.a. Flying Family. We have a family advocate in the chat. That's their shout-out. Istanbul Wildcats. Who else am I missing? DFM over there, which I was actually surprised about. I thought DFM would be up there more with their slow style of play, but then again, it is the LJL, and they did close out pretty easily, so that is a thing. But yeah, so this is this video about game length. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it brought something to the table, a little interesting. What did you make of this? What do you think about the teams that can close out games quick? Why do you think it takes a team like Top or Damwon Kia to close a game out longer? Why does it take them more time, And why do you think JDG's games lasted so long? Their losses were 43 minutes almost. Like, those are some long-ass games, right? So, Thank you for watching this video. Like it if you like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Tomorrow I'm going to do my Pick'ems prediction video, as well as a video of players of interest and a roundup. So there's going to be 3 videos tomorrow. I may end up filming one after this, just to get it done. But thank you for watching once again, and I hope you come back for more content.